Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about?
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, hey.
I see you, Marvin. Just kind of, it just make you like,
Woo. Yeah.
You ain't heard that one yet, Black. That's our new theme song right there. That is our new theme song. We super excited about that one. We had to start off 22 with a little something new.
Y'all getting fast.
We trying to be grown and sexy in the place. I'm just saying.
Let's talk.
Welcome. It is Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook.
You got it. Damn, Marvin. They cook, don't they?
They cook. They be hot.
I love it. Welcome. We are super excited to be in the place just one more time. Kitchen Talk. I am so excited to have here with us now, pretty much officially, kinda. Our returning, always here, always there for me, co-host Dr. Marvin Scott.
What's up?
And my girl, the parent snitch, who I could be like text and be like, Kim, I need you on the show tonight. And she'd be like, all right, I'm coming. Miss Kim Black. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. And
I'm not in the kitchen. I don't want to hear that. I'm not in the kitchen.
I was thinking that.
Not in the kitchen.
Okay. It's okay.
But I do understand sometimes people eat in the room. So
there you go. I just finished.
Yeah. But you know what though? Now Mama will be 38 hot right now about you eating in the room, but we gonna let you
That's
slide.
why she had her house and I have mine.
That is true. And I especially appreciate Kim tonight because, with all of this technology, we can now be in 2, 3, 4, 5 places at one time. So I appreciate her taking part of her time, and part of her time is she doing this. Hey, you my girl, like forever and for real and for true.
That was good.
So if y'all hear that in the background, she working still.
Yeah, I'm working part one to sign your kids up, okay?
Yeah.
But don't just sign your kids up and drop them off. I need you to stay and participate. I need
and this is your Pop Warner. Your Pop Warner.
That's Pop Warner.
That's chairs, that is. You can go to somewhere else, but I'm telling you where you need to be.
Listen, go back in your Pop Warner records back in 2007, 8, 9, 10. And I know, but I'm just saying when I was coaching Pop Warner at Canopy Oaks, we used to put something on y'all. Pee Wee.
I don't know nothing about that right now.
Yeah, Pee Wee. That's all I'm saying.
Is that a little Black History moment? Is that a little Black History?
I'm the
Ask them about Coach Scott.
That's a little Black History moment. Black History moment. There
He's
we go.
giving me a Black History moment with Pop Warner.
Yes.
So we send love and light out to France, who's out today. JT, I think, is joining us a little bit later. He may still be working. Make that money. I ain't mad at you. Do what you gotta do.
JT.
Secure the bag. Secure the bag. But we are here. We're gonna dig right in. Listen, it is Black History Month February. We are super excited to celebrate Black excellence. I do want to pause and pay homage to one of our historic figures, icons that just passed away, which was Sidney Poitier. The
Yes.
first part of the year, open doors, kick down doors, whatever the door needed to be done, he did it, and we could walk through. I appreciate that in so many ways. So, God rest your soul, rest in peace. Mr. Poitier, yes, definitely lost a great one. Then, and we've lost so many, a good iconic people in the last year. So we had Cicely Tyson, last year as well. Just wonderful.
What's my auntie?
That's your.
I'm my auntie.
And one of the things I wanted to say too, just about before we move on, is when we talk about them, opening doors and kicking through, I mean, we have to understand that racism is still live and well today, no doubt. But what they had to go through during those times just to get to where they were, and do what they, you know what I mean? I mean, it's amazing because, a lot of us today, if we had to go through what they went through to open doors, we wouldn't have done it. We wouldn't have done it. And so for them to be committed to the cause, to deal with what they had to deal with, you know what I mean? And so when we say our hats go off, we really, really applaud the work, because even though they were in TV and things like that, they opened doors in so many other areas and made it possible for us to be, to be able to do just some of a lot of the things we do today. So I applaud those who have gone before us, who truly have, they didn't just pave the way; they cut down the trees.
They cut,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they tilled the ground, they dug it up, and then laid the foundation. So
absolutely,
we want to thank God for them.
Absolutely. I heard someone say, the person that actually breaks the ceiling gets cut by the glass.
Yeah. That's deep.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah, and I would have been cut up.
Never thought about it. Yeah.
Cut up, buried. I wouldn't have made it.
All right.
Hey, Miss Kim Black, I'm like you. I wouldn't have made it either. They would have had to kill me. Because I'm telling you right now, I would have been the first.
Hung from the tree with the tongue hanging out of my mouth because you couldn't shut up.
Hey, you know what?
We say that, but we didn't grow up in that era. Like we don't. I thank God we can have that attitude now because of the Harriet Tubmans, because of W.E.B. Du Bois. But growing up in that, we might not have the attitude that we have right now. Who knows? We might have been one of the ones that told Harriet, "I ain't going. Everything all right here."
I don't have much to say.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You really don't know what you would do in a situation until the pressure's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so for, I think about it from the standpoint of some of the individuals, it's not like they went to say, you know what, hey, I want to be the leader of this.
Right.
It's that they went and they saw no one else was stepping forward, and it had to be done. And so in that moment, you realize that's what's on the inside of you.
Yeah.
And you begin to continue to push forward.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, I can say, it's easy to say what I would have done. But hey, man,
I don't know, man. If Harriet Tubman would have walked up on me back then and I would have been there, and she would have been like, "Oh, we leaving at this. Hey, we got to wait up to the Underground Railroad. We gonna escape." I'm gonna be the first person to say what time we rolling, because I'm going. I got to go. I can't do this. No, man.
It is. I mean, it's something to think about. Like, I thank God we don't have to do it, but in some ways, we have to do it in other ways. So no, we're not technically enslaved, but we have psychological traumas, we have institutional racism, we have all of these other things that we deal with just because of our skin color. So yes, they have emboldened us, empowered us to do the impossible, or what some people think is the impossible. To protest, to gather, to make changes, to be change agents, and all of that. It is because of the strength of our ancestry.
Right.
And even their strength came from the ancestry in Africa.
Right.
So it was something that was still like, it's a better life somewhere. And we got to go get it by any means necessary. To quote the,
Malcolm X
man. I mean, come on.
And thank God that some people got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right.
Enough is enough. Because I think when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, at that point, you stand up when others are still scared to stand, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and that doesn't mean you're not scared to stand up. You push past it. At some point, you push past your hurt. At some point, you push past disappointment. You push past your fear. We're working on being fearless. I actually have fearless on my vision board. But am I ever going to be totally without fear? And not necessarily, now this is finna take a whole nother turn. When I think of faith and fear, I think that I still have fear, but my faith pushes me past that. Pushes me past where I can logically think what might happen, what might not happen, this, that, and the other. But I think sometimes people get paralyzed in fear. Yeah. So I don't think we're ever absent of fear. I think it's a matter of, does it paralyze us, or can we still move forward with it? That's courage and faith to me.
But isn't it that faith and fear cannot exist in the same place?
I don't know. I don't know, because
it does, though. Let's be honest with you, it does.
Place.
You have faith, but you can be also fearful that the little faith you have ain't gonna work for what you need to work for.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm just saying.
That's true.
Well, I would say this. Fear can be present, but the moment faith is activated, fear has to move, because courage moves fear out of the way. You know what I mean? Because I do it anyway.
Right.
True fear, that false evidence appearing real, that true fear that paralyzes you, courage would never kick in and cause you to move. Am I making sense? I'll give you a situation. It's not, Black history or whatever, but I'll just use this as an example. I can remember being so afraid to get up in front of people and talk. One of my most embarrassing moments was being in the College of Pharmacy and having to get up in front of a room full of people, and all I could say was my name, because fear got me, and I froze, and that's all I could say. You follow what I'm saying? You go back, I'm getting ready to graduate, now I have to do the occasion, and I stayed up all night working on a speech. Left my speech at home. So I told them I can't do it. And Miss Kelly was like, "Oh, you gonna do that today?" Because Miss Kelly, mama said I gotta do it. I got it without my speech. You follow what I'm saying? And so the same fear that paralyzed me before, because I felt something else, I did it, and I did it without any paper anyway. You know what I mean? And so now here it is. I spent 23 years teaching, but because I had to first get over that first hurdle, you know what I mean? So I think fear can be there, but when courage kicks in, faith kicks in, fear begins to back up. Yeah. And once you begin to do it, even if you were afraid, you begin to do it. The more you begin to do it, the more you realize I'm not afraid.
True.
Yeah, absolutely. And when I think about Black history, I think about all the amazing people that have come forth, that have done things that they said, couldn't be done. The teachers that we got when we weren't supposed to even know or learn how to read, and the courage that it took for them to know and learn how to read and then teach others. When I think about the inventions, the civil engineers that designed Washington, D.C., you know, just different people that you think about that invented stuff. It took, you know, courage. It took just faith to get out and do it and say, hey. And it wasn't like a history. It wasn't like we trying to make history. It was like we trying to make a difference. And I think that is the biggest thing, is that we're trying to make a difference. And then for us to be able to take time out to celebrate Black excellence, to celebrate historical moments, whether they are good or bad or tragic, but all of it pieced together gets us to the point where we are right now.
Right. You know, you think about that. You know, how many days Rosa Parks got on the bus and went straight to the back. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, one day, I ain't moving.
But now I'm still a little bit confused on that story, because I have heard it a couple of different ways, right? So I heard that, my understanding is she was in the back of the bus got full, and a white man asked her to give up her seat, and she refused.
Listen, at the end of the day, they want her to move.
No, and she ain't moved.
And her feet was hurt. Whether she was at the back or the front, she ain't moved.
She ain't moved. But that goes back to what I'm saying, in the sense of, you get to a point where, you know what?
Yeah.
Enough is enough.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I ain't moving today. You got to do what you got to do.
No.
I'm about to do what I do.
She probably was one of the first people to say that. I ain't scared of the police. Call them. Call them. NWA got that song for them. F the police. She started that. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness. It's just history making moments. It's so real. And it is too. So let me ask you guys this. This one question right here. Why do you think it is still relevant or important for us to celebrate Black History Month?
I think it's relevant simply because of the fact that if they're trying to erase all the history out of schools anyway, so simply because of the fact that if we don't have Black History Month, they probably wouldn't teach them anyway. So we probably need Black History Month just so our children, well, I don't have any kids, but the children that are in school now, they would be able to learn something about Black history, because, like I said, they don't want us to know our history. The only thing that they want us to know, that we were slaves. They don't want us to know that we were kings and queens and everything else. They want us to know that we were slaves. And I think that's a lot of times that's the only thing that children know. Oh, we were slaves, but they don't know.
That's true.
That's it. So we probably need Black History Month. I saw that T-Pain said we need to stop celebrating Black History Month, and another celebrity said we need to stop celebrating Black History Month. I don't have anything against them, but I think that we need Black History Month so our children should know what's going on with our history, and we need to probably have us teaching them rather than having some others teaching them, because they only gonna teach you what they want you to know anyways. Yeah. Martin Luther the King.
Yeah.
Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Frederick Douglass, a few others.
You might get Malcolm X. You don't always get Malcolm X.
Yeah, because Malcolm X was real. Malcolm was real. So,
but yeah, and their representation of Malcolm is off.
Yeah, they made him radical. He wasn't radical. He just told the truth.
He told the truth. That's it.
But at that time, that is radical.
Well, yeah, because I remember watching the Malcolm X movie. Denzel, who should have won an Oscar for that movie, anyways. When he did, there was a scene in the movie where he had so much control, and they said one of the white guys said, that's too much power for one nigga to have. And I was like, wow. And I knew right then that he had made his mark, and they would possibly be afraid of him.
Did he use the N-word? I thought he said man.
One. Well, I don't know.
Either way, he was a black man.
That's what he
and in his eyes, he was a white man. And in their eyes, Malcolm was an N-word anyway. So,
Yeah. Marvin, you gonna say?
But I think it's important. But I think too, though, it's about telling the whole story. You know what I mean? And it's about the truth of what happened. It's about the truth of the Civil War. You know what I mean? Because there's so many different things that we can get into. When you think about like when the Civil War was over, they didn't want any books that depicted the South in a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
So any book that talked negative about the South or slavery or anything like that, they wouldn't have them in the libraries, or they would mark them as such, and no one would read the books. You know what I mean? So that's why you have some ill-informed people thinking that the Civil War wasn't about slavery. It was because of control of media, control of the book and information and so forth and so on.
Sounds like today.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I was, just going to say. It's about now, but I think Black history should not just be something that we deal with for a month, but it needs to be something that we talk about as far as the truth of the story. And because it's about representation, and we were going to talk about that, when we were off air, we were talking about that before. The reason that they don't want, in Florida, they're trying to pass that law so that white people won't feel bad, is because it's about representation. If you keep hearing something that makes you feel bad, it causes you to be cowered down and act differently. You know what I mean? It moves them from their place of being in authority and power, because now there's information that's coming out. So it's about representation. That's why they allow certain representation in our community. I mean, just look at the music that the music producers will put out in the Black community, because it's about what? This is what we want you to represent. This is what we want you to hear all the time. This is what we want. Because if I keep putting that representation in your eyes and in your ears, that's what you're going to see in your community. It's amazing. As great an actor as Denzel is, and he should have won an award for Malcolm X, but no, he gets an award for playing the drug dealing police.
The road cop.
Halle Berry, as great as an actress as she is,
don't get me started about that
award for Monsters Ball. You follow what I'm saying? So the moment, and I'm not saying they sold out, but the moment they accepted a role that portrayed a Black person less than what they should be, now we're going to give you an award, because that's the role that we think you should be doing.
Marvin, you about to go down a whole nother path. Oh my goodness.
I can tell you, because I can tell you something.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There is a whole nother kitchen talk.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done with it. There is a reason why, and I'm piggybacking off of Dr. Scott. There's a reason why Angela Bassett has not and will not ever win an Oscar, because she refuses to give in to that role that Halle Berry played. If she would listen, there is no reason that she should not have an Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It. Her and Lawrence Fishburne should have got Oscars for that movie. But because she will not succumb to the pressure of being naked, being screwed on TV, being a whore and everything else on TV, she will not ever win an Oscar.
Right.
Ever.
I mean, you mean to tell me, and listen, this is nothing from Jamie. He can win something for playing Ray, but Denzel can't win nothing for playing Malcolm. I mean, and Angela Bassett can't win anything for playing Tina. Come on now.
Come on.
It's again, but it's about media control.
It is. And who they like.
I'm gonna tell you,
not so much who they like. It is who they want the next generation to come up and pattern themselves after. So if I want an Oscar and I'm an actress, then I need to do what Halle Berry did. Let some pound on me in a movie.
That's why you froze up.
That's why you froze. I didn't freeze up. I meant I muted my own words. Or if I'm an actor, I need to take on roles like Denzel did with being a dirty road cop. That's what I want. That's how I want to see the Black people. That's how I want. So this next generation that comes up, this is the things that I need to do. I don't need to play. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Training Day. I thought Denzel played the stew out of it.
Yeah,
he played the stew out of it. He did. But we should be able. We should be able to be the whole spectrum.
But can I say this though?
Characters. I think that it is it's a.
But can I say,
is it his responsibility or her responsibility to make sure they only play thus and so when you got the counterpart white actors that can play whatever they want to play and they get awards? It don't matter. Like why? That infuriates me to say we can't be like that. No. That's who she was. That's just the role she played. Or that's who he is. That's just the role they played. Why they couldn't play it?
Well, listen, first of all, I'm not saying they couldn't play that role. I'm looking at the Academy for saying that we can only award them when they played that role.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
it sounded like you were saying they had a responsibility not to play those type of characters.
I'm gonna say that when you say responsibility not to play those type of characters, Chadwick Boseman turned down several roles to be like being in slave movies and being in a negative role because he felt like he didn't have to do that to make a point or get it to be a movie star and everything else like that. And I commend him for that. But I'm gonna also say this: I was listening to an interview with Mike Epps, and Mike Epps said something that was kind of deep, but I could tell he didn't want to go too far because he was afraid of certain people coming from him. Mike Epps said that the gatekeepers exist.
Yeah.
They really do exist.
Yeah.
There are people that only allow people in. And you only gonna get in if you allow them to control you. I mean, Dave Chappelle said it. He said it on Oprah. He said when they will come, they will call
it all.
He said he called it all.
Yeah.
When he said, when he talked about all the money that he was offered and everything, and then when he said that they will come for you or they want to come see you, and he didn't say who they were. When Oprah said, "Well, who are they?" He was like, "You know who they talking about," just being funny or whatnot. But the gatekeepers exist. I honestly believe them, and that's why I commend Tyler Perry for using actors that I guess
they
wouldn't normally. Yeah, because he said it. What's my man name? Idris Elba. Like Idris Elba couldn't get no roles,
right?
But he put him in his movies, and then he got The Wire. Taraji P. Henson couldn't get roles. Put him in her movies. Then she came up, and I think that a lot of other young actors can do that by dealing with Tyler Perry. I'm trying. If I can get myself out there, like that. But
I feel you want a manager, I'll be your manager.
Hey, listen,
I'll be your manager.
You get behind me, you gonna make some money.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some headshots done and everything.
Wait a minute. You talking about punching him in the head? You trying to take some?
No, we ain't talking about this kind of.
That's what he need to do. That's what she need to do. Yeah.
But why? Why would you want to punch me? What did I do to y'all?
See him excel in everything he wants to do. I'm gonna be right there in the background. Go, JT.
That's good acting. Hey, that's some good acting right there. That's some good acting right there.
That's cold. That's cold. That's cool. I now see how y'all.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! So we have got like way off. We are here to celebrate Black History Month.
Yes.
So here's the next question: what makes people so nervous about us celebrating Black History Month?
Because it tells the truth about how we were done as a people and as a whole. It tells the truth about our successes, our triumphs, and they do not want that truth shared and told. Let's be honest, Black people, I'm just going to, some white people out there, I ain't talking about y'all, but we some dope people. We have invented some things that we have.
Dope means good for those who
we are the bomb.com of it all. They mimic we don't mimic after them. They mimic everything they do after us, down to our music, our dance, our hair, everything. So why would you want people to know how dope this creation is? This creation of people, they're not the color that we want them to be. They're a Black people, and Black has always been considered negative, but we are a positive. We bring it, and I know we bring it because they always trying to be like us. No, if you're not any good, nobody's going to try to be like you. They're going to shun you and push you in the back. When you are good as a whole, they're going to try to do everything you do.
Absolutely.
Everything. I mean, right.
Go ahead, bro.
I was just saying, I remember a time when white dudes wouldn't even get their hair cut a certain way, but now they wearing fades. And they trying to get fresh line up.
Why are they getting lines in the head, getting designs, all that?
Everything that we do. They trying to one up it. You can't do that, but you can't duplicate this thing. You can't.
Y'all women.
But and I think too, though.
Whatever. Black men been doing it for years. Go ahead, Marvin. What you say?
No.
Kim about to take us off somewhere else.
I don't want to go where she was finna go.
Woo. Come back.
Burger. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I heard that in a minute. Burger.
Burger. Why?
Burger.
But anyway, I think too, though, because it sheds a light on when you look at, like, for example, even when it comes to like inventions, it sheds a light on that we played a bigger role. You know what I mean? So, for example, we always talk about Thomas Edison inventing the light bulb, right? Mm-hmm. But we never talk about the Black man who invented the filament that allowed the light bulb to stay on for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. You follow what I'm saying? Because so in that history book, when they talked about the light bulb, they shouldn't have just talked about Thomas Edison and him. They should have talked about this guy. You follow what I'm saying? But it becomes a thing of, the more we do that, the more we have to include them in the history of America, which now says this is not our country. It becomes our country. You know what I mean? And and so there is a level of fear because it's about power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's about power. It's about representation. And I'm sorry, but racism also is a tool used to keep poor white people satisfied and keep Black people oppressed. Because poor white people don't have anything but the thing that I don't like this group.
I'm better than this. At least
I'm poor, but I'm better
than this one.
And that's what they do. And so if you look at number 45, and the group of senators and representatives that are in office today, that's what they're stroking. Why? Because they're getting that group out to vote. That's what got that group out to vote, so that can keep them in power. But they don't. But nothing that they've done helps the group that they're stirring up. But by stirring up that hate, by stirring up that racism, you follow what I'm saying? That allows them to stay in power. And so racism is not only, about color, but it's about power. And it's a tool used by those in power to satisfy and pacify those who don't have it.
Absolutely. So when we think about, and this is kind of a segue to the article that I sent you guys about the law to protect white people against guilt when discussing racial issues or whatever. But I guess my question is, first of all, we are intelligent people, and I know that it was not you that enslaved me, because I'm not enslaved, right? So I am not necessarily pointing my finger at you. I am talking about the system that was set up. How the system was set up, and how the system continues unless we find a way to fix it, break it, start all over again, whatever we need to do. So my question is, why do you feel guilty?
Because I was wrong.
Why do you feel guilty if your belief system, to me, if you feel guilty, then it's like your belief system thinks that
matches exactly. It matches your ancestors. And you don't want to deal with that because you have portrayed that you're not like that. So why are you going to keep bringing up things that happened to you all to make me feel bad? Because in deep down, I really feel that way. I really feel that you all deserve what you got. This day and age is just masked and baked a different way, and it's fed to you a different way. Back then, it was up close and personal, right? Even some of the things that's happening with the killing of our Black men, it is getting back to the point where it's becoming up close and personal. Because for a long time they backed away from it, and you knew it exists, but you didn't see it as much. But you knew it was there. It's just like it was just like the elephant in the room. Now the elephant is running rampant. He's out for everybody to see. So you don't want to have to deal with that because you've masked and you've lied so long that you were this certain person and that you're not racist. You're for the people as a whole. But deep down inside, when the door is closed and locked, and you are exactly who your ancestors were.
I mean, and again, I come from a different point of view because I'm not going to say that every white person is exactly.
I'm not saying that. I got plenty in my family. We all mixed up.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is this. When you understand that by pointing certain things out, then I have to take a big picture take a good look at maybe you're right that the system has been set up against you. You follow what I'm saying? Because we have to understand that racism in this country, it's not just about this person disliking that person because of the color of their skin. Racism, again, is about power. A poor person really can discriminate, you know what I mean? But he doesn't really have power to truly enforce racism. So racism is about a system that keeps one group down because of the color of their skin or their ethnic background. So when we look at it, when we start talking about certain things and certain people, white people start feeling bad, I feel part of that is because now they have to begin to look at the fact that America was built on things that systematically held people of color back. You know, you think about this, a person would tell you that when they came to America, you know, in the 1800s or whatever, you know, they came over here with nothing but the shirt on their back, and they made it. And then a black person, you know, they were here and they're doing all this and they got all these opportunities and they didn't make it. Why? Because the system was not designed for the black person to make it. So the person that came from overseas will get paid to homestead a land and till that land. And if he stayed on it for so many years, that property became his. The black person didn't have that same opportunity. You know what I mean? They said we did, but the moment we stayed on it or we started to flourish, what happens?
They took it.
They want to take it.
You know, when blacks came out of slavery and, you know, they start doing sharecroppery and things like that, you know, the white man will have the land, the black person will live on the land, crop the land, do those types of things. But then two things. One, the white man controlled the price of the product. And then they controlled the price of the feed that they had to give you and the fertilizer that they gave you to fertilize the land. So they charged you more for the fertilizer and for the feed and for the food you ate, and then they paid you less for the crop you brought in. So they kept you in a form of indentured servitude because that system was not designed for you to prosper. So when we start talking about those issues and being real with those issues, we begin to see how, you can say that I had the same opportunity as everybody, but the truth be told, we didn't have the same opportunity because you developed a system that will hold me back.
Yep.
And it's still that way to this day.
Yeah. I was just about that.
Go ahead, JT.
I was just about to say I got to go. I got to go and get on this road, head to Jacksonville, get this load. So
go make that money.
Yes, sir.
But you will cut me a side deal. 20%.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I'm telling you, we gonna talk. I'm just trying to get some other stuff rolling right now. But we gonna talk, Dr. Scott.
All right, we gonna talk. But I would talk about New Jack.
I need a truck. I need a truck. I need a truck. Box truck. What I need? Box truck.
I mean, hey, listen. You can be one of my drivers.
All right, I drive to Jacksonville every day.
I do. I mean, hey.
Okay. Your phone's talking. Okay, back to Black History. Go to work, man.
Yeah, man. The only thing I know I'm messing up the show, but the only thing I hate is that they canceled out our day routes. We had the day routes or whatever, but now Amazon has just switched everything to night running. So I had to adjust, and that's what I'm doing now. So
hey man, go make that money.
Yes, sir.
I'll be up on Facebook anyway, so just holler at me. You know how I drive for you know what I'm talking about.
All right. Got you. Yes, sir. I'll see y'all later.
All right. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Multiple streams of income.
What? Yeah.
I'm
trying to get them too. So in talking about, I guess too, when we talk about Black history, just like this conversation is kind of going tonight, we keep digging into the things that are not quite right yet or whatever. So let's move to something a little lighter. Not that the conversation doesn't need to be had. So when I think about proud moments, I guess, in history, I think about how my grandfather pastored for so many, many, many years in the AME church. I think about how my other grandfather was the first Black gynecologist and obstetrician in Jacksonville. At one, I can't remember the hospital, but that was, And these are things that I learned as I got a little older. I didn't even know he was just granddaddy to me until, you know, one of my teachers was like, "No, your granddaddy was da 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 da. He went to Meharry and da 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 da." I'm like, "Oh, okay. So he a part of Black, he a part of Black history. Wonderful." So I also think about recent moments like President Obama, you know, seeing a Black family
A
in
Black
the White
family.
House. In the White House. I think about Vice President Harris, um, uh, just a woman and a woman of color. So, what do you guys think about when you think about Black excellence and the pride of Black history? Like the things that really truly need to be celebrated.
I remember when Obama first won the presidency the first time. I was in Pensacola at my grandmother's, and she began to cry.
Mm.
And I said, "Mama, why you crying?" Because I call her Mama. "Mama, why you crying?" She said, "In my lifetime,
Mm.
I never thought that I would be able to see a Black family in the White House." And I was like, wow. That was, you know, it is an accomplishment, and it made a lot of our older elder Black people we thought we were proud, but that actually brought so much joy to them. And let me tell you something, though, Obamas, they didn't go in, they were class at its best. They were more classy than some of the white presidents. That was
Yeah, that was a proud, that was a proud moment for me. I mean, I don't know too many dry eyes at that time when he became president. And because when I think about it, fighting, going to a war and fighting for this country,
Mm.
to come back to this country, still dealing with the things that you deal with as a Black man or Black person, to see that moment, not thinking that things were going to be different or changed, you know what I mean? But just to see that moment and to experience that, it brought me great pride because, me personally, when I went to the war, I love this nation, you know what I mean? And when we were coming back from Saudi Arabia and we got on that plane and they were talking about singing the national anthem, and Whitney Houston was singing that song. There wasn't a dry eye on the
It
plane.
was not.
So that was truly a proud moment for me. But to me too, I'm a sports guy. So I look at like Venus and Serena playing tennis and some of the things that they went through. I mean, you got to understand.
They were dominating. They were,
I've never
yes,
seen a
girls.
U.S. player booed by U.S. fans
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
U.S. Open.
yeah.
You know
At
what I'm
the US
saying?
Open.
Yeah.
But Serena was. You follow what I'm saying? But to go through those things and still dominate the way they both did together, and to see them beat some of the white tennis players who were snobby and those different things, to me,
Yeah.
those were
Yeah.
proud moments. Yeah.
So this is my cousin, my first cousin. So I didn't know this fact. Thank you, hon.
Wow.
Granddaddy. So my granddaddy that was a pastor also was a mail carrier, and I didn't know he was one of the first Black ones in Jacksonville.
Wow.
So that is really cool. It's like you just keep learning these things about your family. That's so cool. Thank you, hon. Um, yeah. So it's interesting. Um, and all of the I'm so excited about all of the first this and the first that and the first this. So it's really cool. I think what you know what it's double edged for me. So I think it's cool that we have a lot of firsts, but it also makes me a little sad that we still having a lot of firsts.
But we're progressing, and that's how
I
I have to look at it. We're
Yeah,
progressing. Yes, a lot of things are taking a long time to happen, but we're progressing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that, to me, even with the small progression, shows growth.
Yeah, like with the Supreme Court justice, that if
yes, I'm ready for that one. I'm sitting
when
ready.
he does give his nomination, and she's,
Confirmed.
what's the word?
Confirmed.
Confirmed. Thank you. When she's confirmed, I mean, that's gonna be, that's gonna be a great moment. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think part of the frustration for me is it shouldn't have to been a situation where I have to personally single out and say, I'm gonna find a black woman. Because it's not like a black woman just became qualified.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just finally they're saying, you know what, a black woman should be there.
Yeah.
When she probably should have been there years ago. You follow what I'm saying? It's a shame that at the end of the day you still only had one black man. You follow what I'm saying?
No, two. I thought Thurgood Marshall and
Marshall too.
Well, one
was,
but he was, yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying though
don't
is
do
this.
That, Kim.
But I guess what I'm saying though is this: is it shouldn't have been this long, and it shouldn't have only been this small number. Not saying that they should have all been black or Hispanic or whatever. But what I'm saying is you had justices who were more than qualified. You follow what I'm saying? Who should have been on a list to be in the Supreme Court. You follow what I'm saying? But it takes, it's bad when it takes this for it to happen. You know what I mean?
But that's because of how the status quo of what the black woman has been viewed. Also, she was to them. It's hard for them to see us as something that's outside of housemaids.
Yeah.
That the quote unquote help, even in corporate. Now, I'm just going to be real about it. Even in corporate America, even in some of our black operating and ran businesses, the black woman is not viewed as this. I'm not looking for.
Get your words right now.
Yeah,
but I got time for that. Get your words right.
Is not viewed as. I'm just gonna say that they don't feel like she's capable of doing the job that men do. They'll never put you over a white man. They'll never put you. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying in some instances they'll never put you over a white woman. And in some cases, they want to choose their the black man before they choose the black woman. Even in some of our black dominant cultures, working cultures, they still would choose. They still got a system where that man's gonna come first.
I can't disagree with that, but coming from a black male point of view, we feel as a black man, sometimes we feel in some situations they're going to choose a black female before they choose a black male. That's how a black man. That's how we feel.
We'll be more submissive. We'll be eager to manipulate and more submissive to do what they want us to do. We won't be so combative in some instances. As they feel, we won't be so combative as a black man who will probably step and say, no, that's not what I'm going to do. Like some women be like, I got to feed my family, I got to do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do what they say do. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah. Well, the other side of the other part of that too is, and again, it's a whole nother kitchen talk that could be had, is about the family, right? So I'll hire the mom. I won't hire the dad. That'll cause a problem and a breakdown in the house. Yeah. It shouldn't, but it does in some ways, because a man needs, and I ain't mad at him, a man needs to feel that he is providing for his family. And when he can't do that, it is a problem.
It is a problem.
And that problem grows into larger problems. It ain't nothing he meant to do. But if he can't get no job and his wife can, that's crazy. And if you know that, it's a way to keep the family divided. It's a way to keep the black family in breakdown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but again, that goes back to the system. Think about this, right? Mm-hmm. So we know that family is important. Okay. We know, everybody knows family is important. And we know in a household, a mother and father are important. All right. So here it is, a person that's in housing authority in project housing or Section 8 or whatever, guess what they say? Okay, so if a male has a felony, he can't stay in the house.
No.
So
Can't be on
I'm
the list.
automatically kicking him out. Now, why does he have a felony? Okay, he has a felony because he was selling drugs. Okay, why was he selling drugs? Because you would hire my wife, but you wouldn't hire me. So I got to go out here. And again, that's not every situation, but again, that's a lot of situations where I'm hustling because I have to try to make ends meet. Every day I'm hustling, right? And so I go out there and you catch a case. Now, guess what? You can't live in the house with your family.
Yeah.
So
Black History Month. Oh my goodness. We celebrated. We celebrated.
So if we're going to celebrate, I think the thing is celebrating Black History Month. To me, this month shouldn't just be about talking. We have to talk about the greatness that is in our Blackness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to talk about it. We need to talk about the inventions and this person and that person. But we also need to be able to see that these are the flaws in our system, and this is how we have to combat those flaws.
Absolutely.
Because we can talk about the greatness and all those things, and at the end of the day, if we don't fix these flaws in our system, it's the cycle still occurs. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I guess I think about too, as we're talking about the greatness, right? We're talking about how great we were even with a flawed system. So you have Tuskegee Airmen, even with a flawed system. You know, you get a Keisha Lance Bottoms with a flawed system.
With a flawed system, right.
You get a Stacey Abrams with a flawed system.
Yeah.
You get a Kim Black with a flawed system. You know?
Yeah. So
I think what I guess my thing is, it just shows our resilience that we're still able. We're still right. You get a Maya Angelou
and still our rise.
System. Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
And we overcome their system, their obstacles that they have put in place for us. We overcome those things.
And it makes
somebody go slip through the crack.
Yeah, it makes them have to work a little harder to try to move that finish line again, because we keep crossing it.
And so that's why they keep changing the goalposts. They keep changing what's required. I mean, I think about this, years ago in pharmacy, all you needed was a BS degree and you could practice pharmacy, right? 5-year BS degree. But then a lot of us started getting BS degrees. So you know what they said? Okay, now you got to have a PharmD. Now you got to have your doctor of pharmacy. So we started getting doctors of pharmacy. Well, that's good. But now if you want to be an director, you got to have your PharmD and an MBA. You know what I mean? Or you got to have a master's in this. They keep doing what? Moving the goalposts. You know what I mean? And so that's why I try to tell my kids, and I can remember, trying to tell them certain things, and in their mind, they think things are different because they're friends and so forth and so on, until certain things happen, and it's like, oh wow, my son, when President Obama was elected, then he realized, this is my youngest son, then he realized he would come home and say, Dad, why do white people hate us so much? Because before that, he never saw that. But when President Obama, when he stepped on the scene, and now there's certain things that were hidden in a lot of people, now they're talking this way and they hate this, that, and the other. Now it's like, why do they hate us? That's a bad feeling. When my son comes home, and he's asking questions like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, wow, and you got to just tell him the hard truth.
Yeah. And I'm sure even for his friends that were white, they may not have experienced it, and so now they could be a little bit confused. Because they didn't know mom and daddy was like that, or granddaddy was like that, until we get a black president.
Right.
And now all the scales come off of everybody's eyes.
That goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You don't know how you would react or respond until you're in that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a person say, I don't have a problem with a black man being a president until he became what?
A president. And they had all kind of problems.
Yeah. And so we got to understand that number 45 was in direct response to number 44.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
45 came about because of number 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. They was not going to help that again.
Well, if we ain't careful.
Prayer, honey, prayer.
We need some work and faith on this one. Go to the ballot box. We got to vote.
Well, now
I ain't voting. Why?
Let me tell you something. You got to
even trying to make that difficult for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're trying to make that difficult, but I'll put it like this: the reason the 2020 election was held and stayed true was because at the end of the day, no matter how these people felt, they held true to the law. You follow what I'm saying? The judges, they held true to the law. People who were in positions of power, they held true to the law and the Constitution. You have to be careful because now you're getting more and more people who really, they say they love America, but they don't. They don't, because if they loved America, then they wouldn't try to do things to destroy and go against what the Constitution says. You follow what I'm saying? So, but you're getting more and more people in positions of power who are willing to go against what the Constitution says. You follow what I'm saying? The moment you get those people in power, it's easy for this person to do what he wanted to do. Can you imagine if individuals would agree with him and said, you know what, we're going to have individuals from the Pentagon seize the voter boxes? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are things that we have to understand, that we have to pray, and we got to do more than just get out and vote. You follow what I'm saying?
We have to have action.
We have to do things now. We can't wait until that election time when these other elections out to put people in the House of Governors and senators and congressmen.
All of the elections are important.
We have to get out and vote for those, because if those individuals get in and are crooked, those individuals make it easier for someone like him to rise to power again. And I'm sorry, but if he rises to power again, it's not going to be a good thing for this country.
No.
And I'm telling you, and I'm not just talking about for black folk.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
For all folks.
Listen, it is Black History Month. We are celebrating our Black excellence.
Do we talk about any celebrations?
I know.
I
don't know. My black is beautiful, so okay, I'm good with that.
I'm like the shirt say black.
I got a question though.
Yes.
I mean, I'm fairly, my face is dark skinned, but I'm not black. And like my mom, she wasn't black, and like my sister, not black. I'm just trying to figure out, like, can we as a people pick a name and like stick with it?
No.
We were from African American.
We don't know what we want to be. White people say white and Caucasian. We're black. We're Negroid. We're black.
We went from Negroes to African Americans.
I like.
We were Negro black, then African American.
I'm good with black, only because I feel like African or Afro American.
I ain't been to Africa.
To that part. So when you say you're Asian American, or when you say you're this American, or when you say you're that American, to me that means you immigrated over here
and you're separated.
And you were born, raised in that area and you came over here, and that makes you
my descendants
that
from
American. I'm
Alabama.
American,
let
and
me help
that's
you out.
it.
My descendants was from Alabama.
Let me say this. Let me say this, and then I know we got to go. But again, I'm just messing with you. But you know what it's about? Again, it's about power, right?
Yeah.
So I use the university system as a whole, right? So in the university system, they used to keep a track of how many African Americans, those who are born in America, that the universities had. And so a lot of your PWIs, they didn't have a lot of Black Americans. Now they had individuals who came from Africa and things like that. You know what I mean? They had a lot of foreign students, but again, they didn't have a lot of Blacks. And so in order to increase their numbers, they changed the wording. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They changed the wording to include that group.
African American.
Right. So you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So because if you talk to a person who comes from Africa or those different places, they don't want to be called Black with us.
No.
They don't.
But in
I'm like,
But in the system they did that because they needed to change their numbers so that they can say they have just as many Blacks as a FAMU. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it was about what? It's about power. It's about funding.
Yeah.
It's about those different things. But you ain't hear that from me because I ain't one that gossip.
Yeah. So I'm cool with being Black. I love it.
Oh yeah, me too now. But I ain't Black any Black now.
Color. I got my own color. It depends on what day it is. I could be Black one day.
But it's so crazy that we have to keep changing it because they keep making it derogatory.
I got a new color called pecan tan.
What I love about us is we the whole spectrum, right?
Yeah. We just everything.
Yeah.
Milk chocolate.
We the
So again, and that's what I'm saying, because I think about this because Black, when we talk about Black as a race, it's not about skin color. Right. It's not. So what is it about then?
That's a good question. It's to me, I guess it's about ethnicity
and race.
Okay. So
race.
when you talking about ethnicity, right? They talk about Hispanic or Latino,
right?
Black, non-Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? So again, what are they talking about?
You know what, Marvin?
A group of people, and you trying to be too deep, dog.
But again, because what I'm saying is this: one of the things that we have to understand is that I don't care how long we've been here. I don't care how long my parents or my great grandparents, great whatever were slaves. We still have an attachment to another place that they want to keep us separated.
Yeah.
I get that's true.
That's why I'm gonna be pecan tan off the pecan tree.
Because how can I say that I'm descendants of kings and queens and all those beautiful things if I'm separated from that and all I have is here?
You know what? I'm gonna start calling myself African American then, just because of that.
I'm not saying you got
descendants.
I'm not saying you got to do that, but I'm just saying those are things that we have to think
that
about.
makes sense to me though.
Because a person from Africa will be quick to tell you you're not African.
Oh yeah.
It'd be quick to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So, but
if we think about it, then all of us African American because Adam and Eve was over there, and that's where it all started.
Yeah. Well, but I tell you what, when you read the book, when we do the book club, you read the book.
Oh, the book club! I'm glad you said that, Marvin. Listen, good people, Kitchen Talk is book clubbing it. We're doing internal investigations, a journey into your soul by this guy named Dr. Marvin Scott. And he's going to be on the show reading it. Well, not reading it, but we're going to discuss it with the author. And guess what, y'all? We got a date for you. It is March the 31st. So look for that. We're going to put that up on our social media to let you guys know where you could get the book if you want to join us in reading. And then also, if you are an author and would like for us to read your book, hit us up at kitchentalkctc@gmail.com. Listen, thank you guys for hanging out with me while my folks is working and doing, their thing. I appreciate y'all so much. I might invite y'all back next week.
I have no live Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, I have no live.
I appreciate you guys so much. Listen, if you are watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on Facebook, hit the like button. Never miss another show. Go ahead and join us next week. We'll be here. We're gonna dig into, because what is coming up next is what? Really, y'all?
I'm like, well, I mean, there's so much coming up. I got 50 things going on.
Hello, Valentine's Day.
I'm the multitasker of the world right now.
Valentine's Day.
What's that?
Oh, child.
We're gonna find out next week.
Love me every day. Don't love me one day. Love me every day.
We're gonna dig into some relationship talk next.
I can buy my own wine and strawberries. Love me every month. You gonna pay? What is the mortgage paid? Is the rent paid? Car insurance. We got food.
Hamburger. You see what I'm talking about?
Digging into
I go buy my baby. Buy me some roses once a month or something. Don't wait on one day out the year. All this one day. You only appreciate me one day. I'm only appreciating you one day.
Why you hating on Valentine's Day? Don't hate on Valentine's Day.
I'm talking about for the man and the woman. You ought to be doing something for each other throughout the month, throughout the year.
Now, Lisa, last time when I started going off track and the time was over. See what I'm talking about? See, that's subtle stuff because I'm a man.
You're trying to throw a little
you should have reeled up back in and be like,
look, that's shade.
Did you hear it?
You see how he do, Kim?
Now, if I was, half wits and didn't understand exactly what you were doing, I mean, but anyway, that's my tangent.
See what happened when I have great, crazy hosts and co-hosts? This what happened. This what happened.
Just threw me up under the tree. You don't see all the branches?
Yeah, I do. I
don't even have no sunlight no more.
Right. I got you, Kim. I got you.
It's a little shady.
It's shady.
You got a little chilly up under the tree.
Cold up under that tree.
Yeah, it's a little chilly. Get my blanket.
Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. This has been Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook.
Yes, they do. And we will see you guys next week. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.